Now for this chapter, we are going to be focusing on the Fullscreen API. Now for this, we're going to use our existing video project. And I don't know if you've clicked it already, but we do in fact have, because we are specifying our controls attribute on our video element, that we have this actual full screen capability. So we've already looked at picture-in-picture, which we've integrated our own custom button for. So what we're going to do is integrate our own custom button for this full screen mode. Now I'm very sure that you've used full screen mode. It looks something like this. We can then enter full screen mode. And then use the escape key to exit. The video, of course, still plays under the hood. So what we're going to do, if we jump down next to our picture-in-picture, we're going to duplicate our picture-in-picture, and we're going to change this across to full screen. The ARIA label we can change across to full screen. It's up to you whether you want to come up with something more inventive. And for the alt text for the icon, we can also change this to full screen icon. Now, instead of picture-in-picture, we can say full screen icon, which we can then jump up the top. Underneath our picture-in-picture, we can then call this the full screen icon. We can then rename our pop-up icon safe, and we can see our updated UI. Now, one thing that we need to do is also add this new class into our picture-in-picture, play, and also the stop buttons. So if you want to go and add in player underscore full screen, we can hit save, and then we see a nice new icon. So at the moment, our icon does absolutely nothing. So in this video, we're going to then learn how to, using the full screen API, actually enter it as soon as we click this button. Now, what I wanted to do was just set up our button, and then what we're going to do is quickly feature detect it, and then go ahead and start writing some code. So we've already done things such as our visibility state. So what I want to do is create and initialize full screen. We can just create for now a nice empty arrow function, and then underneath we want to feature detect it. So we'll say if, and then initialize that full screen function if it does in fact exist. So if we say if document dot, and we can say full screen, you can see we have full screen element. So this is something that we're going to look at. And we also have full screen enabled. You can also see this deprecated full screen property. So we have this Boolean value, this full screen enabled, returns true if the document has the ability to display elements full screen and full screen is supported. So we know that if full screen enabled does in fact exist, and we know it's a Boolean, so this is a bit better than using something like the in operator to check whether it exists, because it's actually going to give us a true or false value. This will be in fact the most bulletproof way to do so. We can of course take our document full screen enabled and then paste it into the console. We can also look at that deprecated property. You can see that we have document.fullscreen. So this was slightly different in the fact that it would report whether we were in fact full screened or not. So now we can just rely on our full screen enabled. We'll also be using that full screen element to check whether we are in fact in a full screen mode. So that's it for this lesson. We've just done a real simple feature detection. We've then initialized full screen. You can call this whatever you like. We're then going to bind this function to our full screen icon, enter full screen mode in the same way that our HTML5 video natively does.